You are not going to believe this. So we were talking about those paid pro-Israel influencers receiving $7,000 per post. Now something even crazier has happened with one of them, and that's Xavier DeRusso. Check this out. Max Blumenthal called him out. The city of Hallandale Beach, Florida, has officially named September 29th Xavier Day in honor of Israeli-sponsored online influencer Xavier DeRusso of PragerU. The city commission draped an Israeli flag over the American flag during the ceremony. I kid you not, guys. This is crazy. Look at the picture. So the gentleman here with the blonde hair, that's Xavier DeRusso. You see how they got the Israeli, you see this? You see how they have the Israeli flag over the American flag? This is Florida, Hallandale Beach, Florida. This is where we're at now, folks. This is where we're at now. You see, where are all the America First people? Now, remember, Xavier, these are the same people who got mad at the pro-Palestinian protesters for waving the Palestinian flag. But this is okay. This is the hypocrisy here, folks. Max goes on to share the proclamation here. Basically, this is long. I can't read all this. It's very tiny. But basically, at the very top, it says the city of Hallandale Beach is home to a large Jewish and Israel-American community and has witnessed anti-Semitic incidents, and Xavier DeRusso has shared his personal journey embracing Zionism and speaking out for the Jewish people and the state of Israel despite facing personal attacks and vitriol. So they went ahead and they named a day after this paid pro-Israel influencer in Hallandale Beach, Florida. This is where we're at now, folks. I kid you not. This is where we are now. They're naming days after Zionists in this country. Paid pro-Israel influencer. But there's more. This is a good point from Techno King. Let me get this straight. Florida removed all the pride flag crosswalks, but then covered their own country's flag with an Israeli flag to celebrate an LGBTQ influencer. That's a good point. That's a good point. Pretty hypocritical of Florida, isn't it? That's something to think about. Again, I see this. This is very concerning, folks. Very concerning. I hope everybody sees what's happening here. I've been trying to explain this to people. This is not okay. Somehow that's okay. Even the license plate. What would you expect from Florida? It's basically an Israeli occupied state now. You guys know they got the pro-Israel license plate for Florida now. Now, see, this is to talk about the hypocrisy. If a state had a license plate option with the Palestinian flag, you don't think there would be pushback? This is what's happening here, folks, in Florida. Now, out of all the people, we go back to this in just a second. Out of all the people that you could give a day to, I'm sure there are plenty of people in Florida that have done tremendous things. I don't know, maybe like rescuing someone from a fire, the firefighters. Maybe, I don't know, doing mutual aid for people or whatever. But I'm pretty sure there are people in that town of Hallandale Beach, Florida, that have done great things. They gave a day to someone who is a paid propagandist. That's where the money got them. This is how far we are. Now, of course, Xavier was not happy with Max Blumenthal's statement, so he responded. Listen to this. Max Blumenthal, you are a raggedy, low-down, dirty bastard and a disgrace to all Nepo babies. You cross-eyed, cheap, dispensable bastard. Everybody notice how they always resort to personal attacks? First of all, you just intentionally mischaracterized the ceremony as if I was there to drape the alliance flag. It was already there at their city hall because of their large Israeli American population. So again, these are the same people, Xavier, who said something about the large Arab population in Dearborn, Michigan. It's the same people that said the US has been infiltrated. Let's go on. This is after you lied about me being scared to talk to your musty ass about the Hamptons. After you lied about it being an intervention for Charlie Kirk. After you lied that all of us went to Israel after. After you lied about Newsmax involvement. After you lied to your wife when you told her you were a man. So, do you see how they hit below the belt? This is what you do when you're caught. And after you lied saying I got paid to go to Gaza, then you got on that dusty ass podcast with a man who fled the country after cheating on his pregnant wife to say you've never heard of me. But now all you do is ride my nuts. Stop speaking on me unless you're going to have some journalistic integrity and learn to spell my name. You are a fringe, unfortunate looking cuck, but it's never too late to change. Come celebrate Xavier Day 9/29. Shabbat Shalom. So what Xavier is he's a sellout. He was willing to sell out for anything. And I'm going to show you another example before he rebranded himself. So Max Blumenthal shares this after you lied saying I got paid to go to Gaza. You mean you did this trashy piece of genocide propaganda for free? Listen to this.
If I were Israel, I wouldn't even provide matching socks to Gaza. But here's all the aid that y'all claim doesn't exist. Now walk with me. I'm here in Gaza, and all I see is food, water, and opportunity. But instead of Hamas distributing the ramen noodles, they're eating it all, and that's why their leaders are on Ozempic. The United Nations brings the food here to look like they're actually doing something productive, but they never finish the job, just like your ex. Now this food is sitting here collecting flies, but y'all want to blame Israel. Then you have Egypt, who built the wall of Donald Trump's dreams, keeping the Palestinians here, but y'all don't say anything to them. Why don't you call on any of the nations of Islam to distribute the food to Palestinians? Mind you, there is petroleum right there. Energy. Gaza got the energy. Gaza got the terrorists wasting all the energy.
I have to say, this guy is a disgrace. Is a disgrace. People will do anything for money. I don't understand how people can live with themselves intentionally lying about genocide and starvation, willing to do anything for money. That's sad. And now it's not as though he wasn't already known. He might be more popular now because he was already in conservative spaces before. That was before he rebranded. See, people may not recognize him, but I remember him before he had the blonde hair. I'll show you that in a second, but he's bragging about it. Me accounting my alleged 7,000 checks per post from Israel. Like, this is what, look.
Another one, thank you. Another one, thank you. Another one, thank you. Another one, thank you.
He's bragging about it. So that, you see this? Xavier DeRusso, he's bragging about getting the $7,000 checks. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And now his money is going even further, right? So you guys know Qatar is supposed to set up a base in the U.S. Look at this. Listen to this.
I'm a MAGA Republican through and through, but I'm really not rocking with this growing Qatar-U.S. relationship. I'm willing to be proven wrong, but to me, it seems like Qatar is everything that y'all accuse Israel of being. Qatar has a track record of funding the radically progressive propaganda in our universities.
Again, this has not been proven. They're all repeating the same lie. You can see he's obviously reading a script right now. He's showing the screenshot that says Qatar is the single largest foreign funder of universities at 6.3 billion. The DC-based Georgetown has received 1 billion since 2005. Qatar is just a US military outpost. See, again, like, he doesn't do any research. He's been given scripts to read, and he's just paid just to say the bullshit. Qatar is a US military outpost. That's what Qatar is. When I covered that story, by the way, about the 3 Qatari diplomats that were killed. I posted a separate video about that. But that's what Qatar is. You got a US base there, and you got gas. That's what Qatar is. So this is why people like him sound stupid when they say things like, I'm not happy with this Qatar-US relationship. Qatar is funding these universities. Qatar and the US is the same thing. That's why they don't understand. They don't know. They don't do any research. He's just reading a script. He's paid to read a script. Qatar is not this separate thing. It's just a military outpost for the United States. That's it. Let's continue.
They spend millions of dollars courting influencers. They have a massive presence in DC. They're bribing our politicians. And now they are having a military base here. Like, I fully understand it's better to have them as an ally within reach because, keep your enemies closer. But I wish that y'all would investigate Qatar and talk about Qatari influence in the same capacity that you guys hyperfixate on Israel. Many of you blame Israel for everything. Meanwhile, Qatar has spent billions of dollars on lobbying, on our universities, our media, and in real estate. But again, if you have information to change my mind, send it my way.
He thinks Qatar is an enemy of the United States when it's actually just a US outpost. Again, does not know what he's talking about, but he's not supposed to because he's just a paid propagandist. Now I want to take you back to before he rebranded himself, because I just want to prove something to you, right? This is back when he was debating Dr. West on Piers Morgan's show. This is when he still had black hair. So I want to show something to you. Listen to what he said.
Why are we still talking about white supremacy in 2024? Why are we still talking about that hundreds of years later? What do white people do that black people can't? How is white supremacy even still on the forefront of your mind? You're stuck in the past. You're stuck in these dated issues. And that's what the problem really starts.
Now you're really revealing your ignorance, brother. You don't think white supremacy has anything to do with what's going on in Gaza at all?
How am I ignorant? I've been black for 27 years.
So do you see this? So this guy, Xavier, which is he's part of PragerU. This guy, right? He's a puppet. He's just another paid puppet. And what they do, and I told you guys this before, black conservative influencers are offered more money, more growth, and some people take the bait. Now, there are some people who are just they are actually conservative. But people like Xavier, they get them and they take them to go to the extreme. So here he is with, I'm 27 and I've been black for 27 years and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So do you see how this led to what he's saying about Gaza, led to the starvation, what he said about the starvation in Gaza not being real? So you see a black person being paid to parrot white supremacy talking points actually gives you more money. And Xavier knows that, and that's why he's doing it. It's a known thing. So this is what he had said back then to Dr. West, and anybody in the space can tell you this is a thing. It is a known thing. If you are a black influencer, you are offered more money If you choose to be conservative and you parrot white supremacist talking points and you back white supremacy, that's how you get a him. That's how you get an Officer Tatum who said, I won't spit on once. That's how you get them. They're paid.
To do with what's going on in Gaza at all.
How am I ignorant? I've been black for 27 years, and I have never been inferior to a white person. What is the white supremacy that is affecting your life? I would like to hear it. What can't I do that a white person can do?
You one of the few black people never been mistreated. Okay, all right, I see.
Saying that I've never been mistreated. Every demographic has been mistreated.
So do you see what they do? They do that, oh, but we're all the same, and da-da-da. No, we're not all the same. So he's just a paid puppet. He's been a paid puppet from day one. And this is what I've been trying to tell people. If you pay attention, you will notice the black people who are conservative and are actually genuinely conservative. And they're not doing it because they were pushed or paid to do so. Because most black conservatives still respect the black community. That's the big red flag. This is what I've been trying to explain to people for the longest time. When you start to see these black influencers and they have no respect for the black community and they start to throw the black community under the bus and stuff like that, they're probably paid. That's how that works. They go to the most extreme. That's how you get them. They'll be the ones that tell you, oh, no, there's no such thing as racism. My race had to do nothing with nothing. None of these things actually happen. They'll be the ones that'll tell you that police brutality doesn't exist. They go to that extreme. Old school black conservatives, and I mean the old school conservatism, not what you see today. The old school black conservatives don't throw the black community under the bus. That is the biggest red flag. So the point that I wanted to make with Xavier, if he was willing to throw the black community under the bus, of course he was going to throw the Palestinians under the bus. Of course he was going to sell out for Israel. Of course he was going to do whatever he wanted to do to get that money. And then you have people like Max Blumenthal calling this out because honestly, people are standing up and saying, no, we're not going to take it. Now you want to get that money, but you don't want it to be exposed. We literally have a city in Florida named an entire day after this buffoon of a man. And that is what I consider him to be, a buffoon. That's a clown. Making a mockery of himself. Making a mockery of black people, honestly, just making himself a mockery altogether. That's what he is. Do not take him seriously. Do not engage in any way, shape, or form, because when you engage, that's why I didn't respond to him. When you engage, that actually gives him more money. The best thing you can do is ignore those paid influencers. Don't retweet them. Don't respond to them. When you engage with them, you increase their numbers and it gives them more money. But Max put it out there. How do you guys feel about that? How do you feel about this town in Florida naming a whole day after a paid pro-Israel propagandist? So much to the point where they're willing to take the flag and put it over the American flag. That's where we're at now, folks. That's where we're at. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.